What's up, my good people? You're here with FightMeBro and Gabriel Gormley MMA. Follow us on every single platform. Today, we're going to be doing our fight predictions for Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates and Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena. Starting off with Leon versus Carlos. I'm not too sure who's going to win this fight. It isn't something that I would bet on. But I do think we have to consider every single factor. Firstly, there's the grappling. Leon Edwards is not really a wrestler like Kamaru Usman or Bilal Muhammad. He's more of an anti-grappler. He had good takedown defense going into his fight against Kamaru Usman, the third one that is. And we were given every single reason to believe that he would beat Bilal Muhammad because he defended the wrestling of Kamaru Usman in the third fight. And for a long time, we were convinced that Kamaru was a better wrestler than Bilal Muhammad and was just the best wrestler in the division. But clearly, it doesn't look to be the case right now. So I don't know. Will Leon Edwards' offensive grappling be enough for Carlos Prates? He doesn't have to worry about defense because Carlos will not be shooting. He's too powerful to ever have to rely on offensive grappling. But I just don't think Leon is good enough. And if we remember Carlos Prates' fight against Ian Gary, Ian shot for relentless takedowns. Every now and then he'd shoot and Carlos would stuff them. And even when he would get taken down, his scrambling ability paid dividends and he always got back to his feet. And yeah, he ended up breaking down Ian Gary, almost had the fight finished at some point. So will Leon Edwards is jabbing and teeping, low kicks, body kicks, head kicks be enough to keep Carlos on the outside? Mind you, Carlos is somewhat longer. I feel like he has a longer reach than Leon. Leon might be taller by an inch, but I feel like Carlos is going to be longer. And man, his two is insane. I'm sure you guys remember his fights against Li Jinliang, Neil Magny, and Trevin Giles. All of those fights ended because of his two. And he hits them so hard that they're disoriented or they're completely out cold. If you remember, Neil Magny is still sleeping in that freaking octagon right now. And Li Jinliang, I don't even know. It just felt like he didn't belong there. I don't know. He didn't really stand a chance. And I feel like a lot of Carlos's fights just feel one-sided. He gets first round finishes, even against Jeff Neal, who was one of the best boxers in the division for a long time. If you remember his fight against Shavkat, that was a very competitive fight against Shavkat, whom I think is a very good striker. If you remember, Shavkat outstruck Ian Gary. There was a takedown threat, but he kind of still outstruck him. And for Carlos Prates to do that to Jeff, knock him out that early, I really don't know if Leon is going to be able to withstand that. So right now, it hurts me to say this, but I think Carlos is going to lock Leon out in the first round. Yeah, I hate to say it. So yeah, guys, there you have it. That's my prediction. Gabriel, what do you think about this fight?
Well, I'd largely have to agree because I think Leon might be cooked. Because if you look at Leon's weaknesses, you could sum it up as being pressure. Now, that has been seen with wrestlers like Bilal and Sean Brady, but I think this also includes striking pressure, as those takedowns came from striking pressure. Like Brady was low key piecing him up on the feet, so was Usman. And even if you look at people like Nate Diaz, did hurt Leon very badly with pressure. And although Leon is going to be, he's a very good kickboxer, but he only really implements that when it's a clean kickboxing match where he can go tit for tat and he isn't actually put into, you know, he hasn't, or there isn't massive pressure put on him. But when pressure is put on him, he does kind of fold, as we've seen in several fights. And if you look at Carlos Prates, I mean, his last performance was like stunning. He just knocked out Geoff Neal, who's a very good boxer, as you said. And as we've seen with all of his fights, he has incredible power along with pressure. Like even Ian Gary, who has obviously had close fights, but he's won like essentially all of them, apart from Shavkat. But if you look at Ian Gary, even he was like nearly finished in the final round by Carlos Prates' pressure, and he also struggled in the fourth round. So if I look at this fight, I would say that Carlos Prates is also just a phenomenal striker. I mean, he's been doing Muay Thai for years, and I believe in the striking, Carlos Prates is going to be able to pressure Leon, and I think he, without a doubt, has the ability to knock him out. As Leon, yet again, nearly got knocked out by Nate Diaz, who, sorry to say, kind of has pillow hands, and Carlos Prates is probably the hardest hitter in welterweight.
Yeah.
So I think the only way Leon could realistically win this fight is through his grappling. But I don't think Leon has the best grappling. Obviously, he has good scrambles. He has some good reversals. Like, for example, he got the body triangle on Bilal. But I think his actual shots have not been effective. Like, I don't think he's actually landed really any of them. I think he attempted one on Colby, even Usman, Bilal, if I'm correct, but they just didn't work. And Carlos Prates, who went up against Ian Gary, who's arguably a very good grappler, taking down Ian Gary, no, taking down MVP, sorry, and taking down, and also making Shavkat struggle. So I just think Leon Edwards does not have the grappling to be able to mix up this fight. And on the feet, I think Carlos Prates' pressure is going to be the Achilles heel for Leon Edwards, and I see him getting knocked out in the second or the first round.
There you have it, guys. We have the same prediction, and I think this is how the fight is going to end. And I just hope Leon pulls off the upset.